Today I had a really awesome moment of gratitude for my brick and mortar business, which is a fitness studio. I went there and I did a workout, and my team, they did this whole Earth Day themed workout for our members just to keep it, fun and, as we say, spicy, just to always give them something exciting, something to look forward to, and have the opportunity to bring friends in, etc. And the team executed it so well, and really seeing how important it is to find high level people to do the jobs that as a business owner you used to do, that they now are doing it way better than you, is critical. And I think a lot of business owners have a hard time understanding that, and having a hard time detaching and letting their ego go and really developing into a better leader to let these other leaders step in and take that area or that opportunity to accelerate better than you ever can. And it's crazy to see how, there are successful businesses out there and the owners are still heavily, heavily involved. Now, that's also a choice. If I, for example, in my studio loved training and I wanted to train, and I've actually had this conversation. I think this can even be a better example. I had a conversation with someone. He was a very high level individual for another company, a big franchise. And at the time I was recruiting a general manager, and I met up with him. I was going to attempt to recruit him possibly for the role, but I wanted to have a conversation with him. He had no idea. I generally wanted to connect. He seemed like a high level, awesome person. So we ended up getting coffee together. And once I realized he doesn't fit the criteria for what I needed in this specific role, which I was totally fine with, it came about that he truly loves training. He truly loves training people, working with them, and doing all that stuff, right? And what's crazy is I then started convincing him, because he mentioned how he's like, I think I do want to start my own thing now that I learned all the stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, you've worked your way up in a company, got to pretty much the highest role you can besides being an owner. You understand how to, manage multiple locations. Imagine you were to start your own with your own brand, your own workouts, and you set it up where you had a small team and you could still train 15, 20 sessions a week because that's what you generally love to do. And then you had your other team managing the back end, but on a very simple scale. I'm like, dude, even if you're only, and I say, I shouldn't say only, making, $35,000, $40,000 per month, right? Maybe $500,000 a year as a business, because he's still involved in doing, a majority of the training, but he's really filling up his own bucket in true passion. I'm like, dude, your profit margins would be a lot better, where he might be pulling 35, 40% profit margins and taking home, multiple six figures. And he has one location to worry about. He has a small team of people that are aligned with what he likes to do with his, workouts and things like that. And also, he keeps allowing, he can do what he loves to do on a day-to-day basis, right? And if that is the case, that is amazing. And, that is something that I think, what happens as a business owner is you start hearing numbers, you get competitive, you start hearing this gym does, X amount in revenue and you want to get there. I mean, it really, success, you define success. So I think it's important to understand, what do you want? And understanding, if someone were to do that and then they wanted to then grow their legacy, they need, and this is, I think, actually, this is exactly my point. I didn't realize this example will lead to it. If that were you, or that's someone that is a real, what you would call a technician, right? Really good at what they're doing, whether a really good trainer, really good salesperson, and they start their own company and they pretty much now hired themselves as an employee. If you do want to take that, and this is the thing, if you do want to grow the company in revenue and top line and try to reach more people, right? You don't have to. That's the beauty of it. You make the decisions. You don't have to do that. If you do, though, want to pursue instead of one location, I want 3, Or instead of one, I want 5. Or I want to be able to start something else, right? Like that's my example, right? I want to do both. I want to scale locations and also start a remote company, a different company that works as it's a sister company with my current company. I need to be able to hire out all the other roles, and I need to put myself in a position where I am what is quoted above the business. So I'm only focused on the future and what's to come. And I have 90% of other tasks and responsibilities handled by excellent high-level individuals. And a lot of times as business owners, we can be stubborn people, right? We want more, we want to keep growing, which is a great thing. But people then get stuck in this vicious cycle where because they were the ones that are doing 60, 70% of the work, right? And they have okay people working for them, and now they want to make this transition. They need to really get into and uncover like what leadership is, right? Taking extreme ownership, like doing all these things that you can learn on how to build a high level effective team. And this is really where having a set of core values that you truly live by and praise and give feedback and criticize on, right? And actually, once you have that mission, which you usually can always have the mission from the beginning of why you're doing what you're doing, right? And having the ability to let your ego go and understand, okay, I want to bring people to do these tasks that I used to do, because typically as a business owner, you've done everything, and understand that at first, they probably are not going to do it that good, and you have to be patient, you have to train, but you also have to lead by example. You have to know exactly what needs to be done. You can talk through any situation there is that's super efficient and effective there, but not letting your ego get in the way, because eventually what happens is you will find people who are actually way better at you, way better than you, at doing that job. So the job you used to do, you now hired someone to do it, and they're actually 10 times better than you. And that's what happened to me today. I really was able to see like, holy crap, man, like my team that I have, is fantastic. They're amazing, and they are way better than me. And it is so cool to see everything they're doing to really help our members. And I always try my best to make sure I praise them and really give them acknowledgement. But it reminds me that what they're doing now is freeing up, giving me the ability to, and really the trust they put in me is to make sure I'm making the right decisions for the future so we can continue to grow and impact more lives. And that either can be me making those decisions, or they trust me to find the person to bring onto the team to continue doing that. And sometimes there's a point where, again, the business owner has that ego and has those trust issues internally that are really stopping them from going through that process and pain, that transition of detaching, letting go, letting your ego down, and allowing these other people to excel and really bring on people that are smarter than you, have better ideas. And when you have the humility to let that happen, what you uncover is there's things that you thought that are wrong, things that you were doing that need to be done better. And when you have the ability as the business owner to take that feedback and understand that you now have these high-level people helping you grow this thing, and they're executing on what needs to be done, your job as the leader is to look ahead, hold the highest standard possible, not only in the company, but to yourself. And you need to make sure you're always bringing on even higher level people, and that decisions are being made, and you are truly leading by example and can support and help them in any way possible, right? This is where you hear business owners say, oh, I work for my team, because I do. They're the ones doing the work on the day-to-day. My job is to work on the business and what's going for, where we're going, right? I'm the delusional one creating the path. I'm the delusional one. You're the delusional one that's setting that. You're the one in the dirt trenches making this new pathway for them so they can continue to grow and succeed. And you're also given the ability to grow as a human and impact more lives or help more people, whatever your product or service does. So first of all, again, had such a big moment of gratitude for my team, and it's so exciting to see how we're, how we're growing. We're going to need to make at least 3, really 4 new hires as we continue to grow, if not 5. And I truly believe this is a big change for when we do hit our 7 figures, and we want to even continue to grow from there. Now we're gonna have that really ingrained step-by-step process for what a studio with hundreds of members and multiple new members coming in every month, and there's all these processes and systems, right? We're now the orchestra, I don't forget what it's called, but the person, the conductor with the orchestra. And then eventually you have to not even be the orchestra, right? Like you go from being the quarterback, right? You then become the offensive coordinator to the actual head coach. And then eventually, if this is your, what you want, you have the ability to become the owner of the team and actually have a head coach who's doing all the things that the owner operator originally done. And then they hopefully are doing it better than you if you make the right decisions and let your ego go. So that's what I want to talk about today. Hope there was any insight. Feel free to like, comment if you have questions, anything relatable. Remember, if you are the boss, be humble, let your ego down, and let high-level people do the things better than you within your company. Steve Jobs said it best. Steve Jobs specifically said, the best product I ever developed was the team that created all the amazing and revolutionizing Apple products. And that was something that really stuck to me, because he admits, I didn't build this. They did, but I was the one that set the vision and the goal to reach for them. And I pushed them and held them to that standard. So have the best day. Comment, question, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll see you on the other side. Do the impossible. And shout out to my boy Zach, repping his shirt right now. Obsession. Can't really see. But take care.